takes a lot of nerves. How's that? Yeah, I guess so. Whatever. I can't see the screen anymore. There we go. Let's see. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihara Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihara Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Radhajannavanjana Yashodanandana Radhajannavanjana Jamuna Tiravanatari Jamuna Tiravanatari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihara Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihara Yashodanandana Radhajannavanjana Yashodanandana Radhajannavanjana Jamuna Tiravanatari Jamuna Tiravanatari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Radha Madhava Kunja Vihara Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihara Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Bhagavata Tata Sri Srimad His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada O Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai Matakati Vaishnava Devi Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Pransikar Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Shri Advaita Karara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shamakana Radhakana Nidikapadan Ki Jai Samunamaya Ki Gangamaya Ki Tulasi Devi Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Sambhavita Bhaktavinda Ki Jai Shri Vindavanama Toradam Ki Jai Navadikam Mahapradam Ki Jai Jagannath Puri Dam Ki Jai New Goloka Dam Ki Jai Transcendental Book Distribution Ki Jai Transcendental Prasadam Distribution Ki Jai Vyatmadanga Ki Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai ISKCON founder Chaya BPT founder Chaya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Shri Shri Gaur Nitai Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Golakananda Ki Jai Shri Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Glories are glories to Shri Shri Ranga. If it's not working, just turn it off. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, the Sumnam Bonum, Chapter 60, Krishna teases Rukmini. Let's just see if that's a whole title. It says right here, Lord Krishna teases Queen Rukmini. Queen Rukmini. Okay. And I was informed that we'll be reading from text 22 onward. So the big screen on the wall is not really functioning properly. We'll just look at the book because there's a lot to be said for non-technology. In fact, I was told there's a story in the Mahabharata that I think it was Maya Danava offered some benediction. It's the only time, as far as I was told, that Krishna suggested not accepting a benediction. So I think it was Arjuna was offered this benediction. The benediction was technology. And Krishna said, no, you better don't accept that one. Okay. So technology has many, many advantages. When it works, it's marvelous. And when it doesn't, totally frustrating. Plus, it makes people dependent and foolish. There's a phenomenon now, new generation don't know where they are at all and can't get anywhere without a phone or the little machine in their car. Right? You can't look at a map, can't understand where they are. The same friend who told me that story also uses beautiful analogies, very simple analogies, that when you are lost, the first question you ask, if you have a map in your hand and you're lost, the very first question you ask is, where am I now? Here. What is this place? Because from this place, from wherever you are in Krishna consciousness, then you can progress. You can make a path to your goal. Right? So when you're lost on the road, if you ask someone, first question, you can say, how do I get to the next place? Right? But if you don't know where you are, you could calculate it all completely wrong. The first is, where am I on the map? So where am I in Krishna consciousness is being shown to us through Krishna's pastimes. Because where we are in Krishna consciousness is our emotional, mental, possibly intellectual position in the world. And from introspective and the advice of others, you can begin to understand where you are, where you're situated. And then you can make a plan to, or calculate the moves to reach the goal. So the goal is set. The goal is go back to Godhead. But it's not a geographical location. It is, in fact, the entire full-bodied thrust of existence. And the practice of Krishna consciousness delivers you to the destination in the process. So where you are, I haven't reached the goal. Yes, I haven't reached the goal. The goal, gati in Sanskrit, gati. But Krishna says, I am the goal. Krishna reveals that in Bhagavad Gita. He is the goal. The goal, the master, the witness. He is all those things. And when one begins to awaken their cognition of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then the goal is set. How can I know more about Krishna and less about me? I know so much about me? No, you hardly know anything about you as an eternal spirit soul, except that the path to perfection is through service. And one may think, yeah, well, I need a cloth, I need to wipe the floor, I have to do this and I have to do that. No, it's a service attitude. That's what pleases Krishna. It's not how much you've done and how exhausted you've exhausted your physical body. Queen Kunti in the 8th chapter of the 1st canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam says, those who are materially exhausted can approach, despite all the other qualifications that might be there, high education, bodily beauty, etc. It is, when one is, what is this term? I just said it, you remember? Materially exhausted. That does not mean that you are physically exhausted from trying so hard. It actually means exhausted your material desires. When you no longer have your own mundane goal, that's when you exhausted your need to impress other people or to gather more goods. Right? So anyway, what is revealed in this chapter will be that Krishna is very pleased with the sincerity, love, affection, and undeniable, argumentative beauty of his devotee, Rukmini. He's teasing her. It's not a very nice thing to do at all. No, it's not. But somehow or other, it's described here in the Vedas that this teasing is the ultimate affectionate exchange between men and women. And Krishna is using all of his devices to rile, to disturb her mind. And he succeeds right at this point where we're reading today. Okay, text 22. I'm just going to read it. There are lots of verses with no purports here. So you can read the Sanskrit when you have a chance. And I'll just go with the English if you don't mind. Text 22, which is not on the screen, of course, because technology has failed us again. And it is written beautifully in this book. So if you have a copy of this book, you can enjoy. So this text 22 reads, Goddess Rukmini had never before heard such unpleasantries from her beloved the Lord of the universal rulers. And she became frightened. A tremor arose in her heart, and in terrible anxiety, she began to cry. All right, this is the beginning. I want you to please forgive me. I'm going to give you my telephone number right now and my email address, and I'm going to check it before the end of the class. You might get angry with me. You might not like what I'm going to say. You can please communicate with me. I will read it out before the end of the class. I will stop and read it out. There are many word choices and several grammatical incorrections and very poor choice of words in the remainder of this chapter. And it disturbs me. So if you look at the word, here we go. I was also tempted to just tell you a bunch of jokes. So if there's time, I'll tell you a bunch of jokes. In fact, maybe it's a good time to tell a joke. Lighten it up a little bit. So there was, in fact, and may still be, a movement in our movement not to criticize anyone. Don't criticize anyone. But let's put it into perspective. These are critical times, and people are in critical condition. People's minds are lost in matter. And if you go to any hospital, a major hospital, there's a ward, it's a critical ward. People who are severely injured, right? So critical works there. And there's also constructive criticism, right? So you can do better. I'm not condemning you. Okay, so here's the joke. I'm telling you this is a joke because in ISKCON, everyone takes everything very seriously. The joke is, traditionally it is said that if you're going to criticize someone, you should walk a mile in their shoes. And at least you're a mile away and you have their shoes. Okay, I guess my delivery wasn't very good. I'm not recommending you steal anyone's shoes, but the idea is that if you're going to criticize someone, you should live their life. But the joke is that you walk a mile in their shoes, then criticize. And at least you're a mile away. And you have their shoes. Okay, that didn't work the second time. All right, so the criticism is, if you look at the word for words here, it says weep. She's weeping, sobbing. Actually, the word sobbing is used. So sobbing is, it's more internal. And cry, the word cry means almost very much out loud, like a baby cries. And there are many, many tear-shedding levels. Sobbing is one, and weeping is another. That comes up in another verse. And crying is the word choice in this verse. But the word for words says sobbing. Okay, I'm just criticizing, right? It's not the right word. Sorry. Text 23. With her tender foot, effulgent with the reddish glow of her nails, she scratched the ground, and tears darkened by her eye makeup sprinkled her kumkum-redded breasts. There she stood, face downward, her voice choked up by extreme sorrow. If your voice is choked up, you can't cry. But you can sob, and you can weep. These are like stage directions. This is what she's doing, how she's feeling, how this emotion is manifesting in her body. So I'm going to manifest a little gratitude to you. Thank you for listening. When I first heard His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, I was, of course, impressed that I couldn't understand anything he said. It took time. He was about this far away. I was sitting in a group of people, and he would speak, and I would understand the word, but I didn't really understand how it applied. It was impacting through so many covers of conditioning. But he spoke very slowly so that the medicine would go in, one drop at a time. So that's what I'm expressing gratitude about. The pace in which one can approach the philosophy of Krishna consciousness. There's no rush. You take it at your own speed. Can you hear me? I think it's very important, that's my personal opinion, to slow down. Whenever I see a recording of myself, I think, why is this guy talking so fast? If I see a recording of a play I'm in, I think, you deliver the lines too fast. Too fast. I speak very fast. When I lived in Japan and taught English, I slowed the pace of my speech down so that every word could be understood. And then when I returned to the mainland, to the United States of America, then I could speak the way Americans do. So they tend to speak a little too fast. Srila Prabhupada spoon-fed the philosophy to his disciples, pacing it very easily. Right? If I watch a lecture of Srila Prabhupada, I actually increase the speed. If I have it on my phone and has a speed, I'll listen. Now that Krishna has supplied me with a Bluetooth, I can actually hear Srila Prabhupada's voice again. I speed it up because it takes a long time. But what I was going to praise Srila Prabhupada about specifically was how he takes his time to feel and experience and convey the importance of Krishna consciousness to others. Text 24, and this one has a purport. Rukmini's mind was overwhelmed with unhappiness, fear, and grief. Okay, in the Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita, he describes fear as apprehension of the future, not knowing what the future will be. That's what causes fear. Like you're intimidated. Oh, if I do something, then something else will happen. There'll be reprisal. Her bangles slipped from her hand, and her fan fell to the ground. In her bewilderment, she suddenly fainted. Her hair scattered all about her body. As her body fell to the ground like a plantain tree blown over by the wind. Of course, a plantain is a kind of banana tree. And in the Krishna book, Srila Prabhupada chooses to say a banana tree, because that's easier to understand. It blew over. And when they blow over, they just go over flat. Purport by the disciples of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Now, shocked by Lord Krishna's words, Rukmini could not understand that the Lord was only teasing, and thus she displayed these ecstatic symptoms of grief, which Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti characterizes as sattvika ecstasies, ranging from, quote, becoming stunned to dissolution. All right, there's an issue with the word choice, because shocked is a different thing. Shock is, you don't move. And astonished is another word. It's a different degree of surprising information. It throws you off balance. And when you fall over like a tree, that means you're off balance. If you're shocked, you tend to go on defense mode. So her defense, she was defenseless. She was lost. consciousness and fell over like a tree. So this is the reason, or that the description of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur uses the ranging from becoming stunned to dissolution. Dissolution means like the end of the universe, dissolved. That's the end of the purport. And then we're going to go on, but I suppose I'm supposed to say, Shri Chaitanya Meravastam Stapita Meravita Swami Priyamayam Daditi Sapandakam Vandaham Shri Guru Shri Ramkalam Shri Ramashtam Shri Rupam Sabajatam Sahagana Tam Satrivam Sadvaitam Savaritam Parajana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Laita Shri Vesakavitam Shah Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandha Jagapate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gorangi Radha Vrindavaneshwari, Rishabhana Sita Devi, Pranamami Hiripriye, Vanchakalpa Turbhyasya, Kripasindu Bhyavacha, Patitanam Pavanavaya, Vaishnavam Bhyo Namo Namaha, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shri Vasadi Gaurabhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mahatma, do you know where all those prayers are? There. Right at the very beginning of the Bhagavad Gita. Okay, because of this world of mantras, we're going to go on. Text 25. Seeing that his beloved was so bound to him in love that she could not understand the full meaning of his teasing, mercifully, Lord Krishna felt compassion for her. The shift of emotions in this exchange is so fantastic. I remember about 10 years ago, sitting right about where you were, reading the Krishna book in this room one afternoon, and I just flipped out. There's so many wonderful feelings. I'm reading Krishna's teasing and laughing. I couldn't hardly contain myself. He was having so much fun. Srila Prabhupada's description of the teasing was just so jolly and cheerful. Then, this section, she's shocked, and tears came out of my eyes. In compassion, his compassion for his wife, he hurt her. He was extracting emotions. Right? Tears came. And then, when Rukmini begins her, you could call it counter-argument, that's when I realized. Now, a couple of classes back, I spoke about women, and one of the wonderful devotees in the community said, "Oh, you may alienate women with what you said." And believe me, that's definitely not my intention. I have the greatest respect for women. Women are the most powerful of the two genders. Or maybe there are 51 genders now, I don't know. But they're the most powerful. They have the best stamina, and they have the unique and marvelous devotional quality of simplicity. They don't get caught up in things, but they're very defensive also. Yeah? The famous Kipling's poem, "The Female of the Species," is that don't cross a woman because don't intimidate their offspring. They are protective. All right? So they're much more powerful than men. Of course, now someone from the male gender will come and say, "You're alienating men." But no, I'm alienating. If I'm going to alienate someone, I want to alienate those who are on the bodily platform of life and identifying male, female, or species. If we could embrace fully our eternal identity, eternal, you have eternity. You've been here all of eternity, and you're going to stay here all of eternity. Are you having fun? Are you playing with Krishna? Is Krishna playing with you? Because that is the thrill at every moment that Srila Prabhupada refers to. The thrill at every moment. It's enticing. It is enticing. Here, I'll inject a little pastime. This morning, fighting against the elements, I drove my car from Chapel Hill, and the road was dangerous, icy. And when first round, there was a car off in the gutter, and I was thinking, oh, Krishna will protect me, I hope. And then we keep going. It's like 14 miles away, and the car slips a little bit, and I thought, well, here's my training in childhood that I was trained to drive in Massachusetts. In Massachusetts, it can be snow all the time, everywhere, ice, every condition of bad weather. Heavy rain, there are some conditions that are phenomenal in other places. Maybe I'll talk about that later. But anyway, the car's slipping, and I'm thinking, what? I have control? No, actually, when you're slipping, you're not supposed to do anything sudden. If you put your foot on the brake, it will slide more. And if you tighten up, or you turn too much, or try to, then slip more. Here we are, practicing our spiritual life, holding onto the steering wheel with our foot hovered over the brake. At any moment we could stop. It's not progressive. We could slip, right? End up in the gutter. Just take it easy. Krishna is driving. Krishna is driving everyone mad. He wants to drive them mad in his direction. But you want to be mad? Well, be mad. You can go be mad about something else. It's all right. There's madness in this pastime. In fact, Rukmini, part of the multiple emotions that are going on, is that she's actually mad, angry. She's angry. He maddened her. That's part of teasing. Teasing is not recommended. Believe me, not recommended. It is the implication of teasing that really vanquished Hiranyakashipu. If you look in the 7th canto, a voice from the sky assured the demigods, I know all about the activities of Hiranyakashipu. As soon as he teases his son, Prahlad, who is a pure devotee, I will vanquish him. Teases. And it was, you see, Hiranyakashipu tortured, had the demons try to stab him, threw him into boiling oil, threw him off a cliff, put him in, tried to crush him with an elephant, all that. Play it up. It's only 2 verses, but we play it up like that's the most important part of the pastime. It's not. The most important part of the pastime is when Hiranyakashipu is fried by the devotion of his son. He teases him, and he says, oh, you say that there's a supreme being who is greater than I am? Right? Well, where is he? You say he's everywhere? And Prahlad, yes, he's everywhere. He's omniscient. He's omnipresent. Then, why is he not in this pillar? Right? And then, because he teased his faith. The person lives in their faith. Tease the body, tease the mind, but tease a person's faith. Tease the devotee's faith. Then Krishna takes action. Whoa, action. And what is Krishna's action in this pastime? Is revealed in the next verse, text 29. Text 29 reads, the Supreme Lord said, oh, Vidarbhi, did I miss something? Oh, sorry. Text 26. Okay. Text 25. Seeing that his beloved was so bound to him, I read that, okay. 26. The Lord quickly got down from the bed, manifesting 4 arms. He picked her up, gathered her hair, and caressed her face with his lotus hand. Purport. The Lord manifests 4 hands so that he could do all these things simultaneously. All right, here's another issue, but I'll just explain first the transcendental aspect. Those living in the spiritual world, and they have bodies similar to Krishna, manifest 4 arms, 4 hands, right? They can do that. One wonderful brahmachari, you may know him, he's not a brahmachari anymore, right? Hanumat Prashakadas, right? One evening in the temple I was taking my family, he very kindly bestowed his mercy upon me and corrected me because I came in the temple. Come on in. See, I came in the temple and bowed down or paid obeisances with one hand. This was in New Jagannath Puri Dham. New Jagannath Puri Dham is Berkeley, San Francisco. So he said, very kindly, he called me over and he said, Prabhu, I mean, I'm no Prabhu, I'm just some jerk who comes to the Sunday feast. But anyway, he said, according to the Nectar of Devotion, the book I had just received, it's an offense to bow down on one hand. But this is New Jagannath Puri Dham, and everyone who lives in Jagannath Puri has 4 arms, and I couldn't see if one of your other arms was actually in use. So he told so much in 2 or 3 sentences. He instructed me so fully and made reference to actually my favorite book. Right? I thought, impressed me, and that's close to 50 years ago. Right? He just gave me the mercy. He didn't sauce me out. He just said, Prabhu, paying obeisances without using 2 hands or with 2 hands is considered an offense by this reference, but in Jagannath Puri, everyone has 4 arms, and I couldn't see them. All your 4 arms. Right? All right. So Krishna manifests his 4 arms. He's picked up his wife, and he's cleaning his face with this lotus hand. So there's another aspect. Lotus, whenever you see lotus, according to Vedic precepts, the lotus, simply looking at a lotus in a pond, is supposed to relieve fatigue. You can trust it. Relieve fatigue. If you're very, very tired, simply seeing a lotus can give you a restful mentality. Relieve your fatigue. So when Krishna's lotus hands are stroked over Rukmini, drying her eyes, right? You can never just imagine what a mess it is. I mean, she's got kumkum on her breasts, and she's got mascara all over her eyes. She's been crying. So they look, how could it be? So, yeah, what a mess. But this is the affection that Krishna has for his pure devotee. Mess with them, tease them, make them fall, make them worry, and then bring them in 2 arms to his chest and wipe the tears from their eye. Look at the depth of this. It's not a doing. That's right. This is now the more criticism. Right? Krishna manifests these 4 arms. It says here, he got down from his bed. So in creative writing, and I'll give you a whole biographical process of why I have these issues, if you like. I was teaching English in Japan after having taught public school in San Francisco. Then I came to the United States, back to the United States, through Hawaii, where I taught ESL more. ESL means English as a second language. And then I started teaching Gurukul again in Florida and gearing them towards the GED, General Education Document. Get them out of the school because it wasn't a good school. It was not a good school. Right? Those men, those boys at that time, men now, are my dear friends. And I had to stay a page ahead of them. And specifically taught them vocabulary and English writing, creative writing. And there are certain words that should be avoided at all costs in writing. Get, or got, and thing. And here, in this one sentence, and do. Do is another. So Krishna executes his activities carefully, meticulously. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati refers to devotees engaging in their service meticulously, down to the finest detail. Okay, we're going to open for questions. I'm sorry, I didn't give you my number earlier. 336-327-1998, or if you want to type out an email address, it's misterdas, that's Mr. Das, at Gmail. So it's really easy for me. The reason why I urge you to speak with me one-on-one isn't because I don't want to be called out in public. It's because I can't really hear very well. So if you type it out, I can read it. And of course, you can call me out anytime. Another devotee kindly shared that I had mentioned, paraphrased Srila Prabhupada's statement that the only compatibility between male and female in a marriage is Krishna consciousness. And I was duly corrected. And I wanted to discuss the topic a little further, but the person had a 2025 huff and drove off as rapidly as possible. So we never got to the end of it. But the point is still working in my mind. The reference was that there are many other qualifications in a marriage that are material qualifications to be successful. But let's face it, in order to be successful in Krishna consciousness, in order to be really Krishna conscious, you have to balance spiritual activities and material activities. So if you analyze, according to Bhagavad Gita, would be a good reference, if you analyze what is Krishna consciousness, you will see that it equips you with the correct attitude and the best possible manners and conduct to be successful in any cooperative relationship. This is what Krishna consciousness, you could call it a byproduct, or you could call it, what is that pharmaceutical term? Side effect. A side effect. It's a side effect. Being Krishna conscious isn't just being in ecstasy all the time. It's actually being properly situated in your social interaction, encouraging everyone as far as possible, setting an example of a perfect gentleman, for example. Right? Here's one. Right? One Prabhupada statement: one should grow old like a gentleman. Right? I was just thinking about putting a down payment on a sports car and going to the nightclub. Oh, but I read this in Prabhupada's book, and what would a gentleman do? Just wind it up slow, focus on the books, right? And a responsible householder, according to Vedic precepts, in Kali Yuga, anyone who can maintain one wife and one child is considered expert. And that, the microcosm of a successful marital partnership, not a couple partnership, I can talk about that another time, is that it is a microcosm of successful varnashram, among many other things. Thank you very much for your attention. I'm very pleased to have made my way here. I hope that you forgive me for my rascaldom. Hare Krishna. Our glories to the assembled devotees. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Samasitam Buddha Sundarangam Nandar Agom Vidamaniya Vishesha Shobha
Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami
Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Angani Asa Sakale Priya Priti Manti Vasyanti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vigrahasya Govindam
Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami
Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Jiva Golo Hari Hari Mukunda Murari Rama Krishna Hare Nashimala Nashimala Surana Vandana Shama Bhutana Jaya Dasarati Rama Jasoda Dulala Govinda Gopala Vrindavana Purandara Vrindavana Purandara Gopi Priya Jana Radhika Ramana Bhuvana Sundara Bhara Ravanathakkara Makanataskara Gopi Jana Vaskari Gopi Jana Vaskari Brajera Rakala Gopa Vrindapana Chitari Bamsidari Jerarata Chitari Bamsidari Yogindra Bandana Srinandanandana Brajadana Bayahari Navina Nirada Rupa Manohara Mohana Vamsi Bihari Jashodanandana Kamsani Sudana Vikunjara Savirasi Kadambakadana Rasaparayana Vrindavipina Nivasi Asi Anandavardhana Premani Chaitana Kulashara Jojakakama Gopangana Gana Chita Vinodana Samasta Guna Gana Dama Damudadivana Keriparayana Manasakanda Chakara Namasudharasa Gaura Krishna Jasa Rakovachana Mona Namasudharasa Gaura Krishna Jasa Rakovachana Manamora Gaura Krishna Jasa Rakovachana Manamora Sridavari Shesha Loka Provitam Nijachari Utajiva Sridavari Shesha Loka Provitam Nijachari Utajiva Bolo Hari Hari Mukunda Murari Rama Krishna Hayagriva Hari Hari Mukunda Murari Rama Krishna Hayagriva Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Gaura Hari Go, Hari Go, Hari Go, Jai Gaura Hari Go, Hari Go, Hari Go. Hari Go, Nitai Gaurani, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Jai Sachinandana, Jai Sachinandana, Gunandana, Jai Sachinandana, Jai Sachinandana Gaurani. Jaya Radha Goloka Nanda Radha Goloka Nanda Shri Radhe Radha Goloka Nanda Radha Goloka Shri Radhe Jaya Radha Goloka Nanda Radha Goloka Nanda Shri Radhe Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Jaya Shri Vrindavan Dham. Jaya Giri Govardhan, Jaya Shri Vrindavan. Please read with me. The night has come to an end, and the light of dawn is entering. O Jiva soul, arise, give up your sleep. Chant the holy names of Lord Hari, giver of liberation, enemy of demon Mura, supreme enjoyer, all attractive, and Harigriva, the horse-headed incarnation. Nishima, half-lion incarnation. Vamana, dwarf Brahman incarnation. Killer of demon Madhu, beloved son of Vraja's ruler, beautifully dark complexion, slayer of witch Putana, destroyer of demon Kaitaba, and victorious son of Dasarath Lord Ram. Darling of Yasoda, giver of pleasure to cows, land, and spiritual senses. Cow protector, Lord of Vrindavan, the gopis' beloved lover of Radhika, and most beautiful in all the worlds. Cause of Devan Ravana's demise as Lord Ram. Butter thief, robber of the gopi girls' clothes, young herdsman of Braja, protector of the other coward boys, thief of hearts, and flute carrier. Worshipped by the best of the gopis, Nanda's joy, remover of all fears for the people of Braja, colored like a fresh rain cloud, enchanted in form, and charming while wandering and playing a flute. Yasoda's joy, vanquisher of demon king Kamsa, enjoyer of the rasa dance among the forest groves, and especially under the Kadamba trees, and resident of the woods of Vrinda, increasing the ecstasy of his devotees, river of all love, the transcendental Cupid who uses his flowered arrows to increase the loving desires of the gopis, the pleasure of the hearts of all coward women and men, and the abode of all wonderful qualities, the life of the Jamuna River, always absorbed in amorous pastimes, and moon of the mind, which is like the moonlight feeding Chikora bird. Heed my words, O mind. These holy names are full of nectarian mellows. Therefore, sing the glories of Krishna. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai. Cheto darpana marjana, Baba Mahadavagni nirvapana, Jayatavai vichandikam, Jivanam, Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam Viditanam Padasanam Lapanam Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Namakari Baudani Jasarfa Shaktis Tatarpitani Amishasvaralena Savam Ekat Vishita Vipava Ainanda Tanujipinkara Chakshusha Pravishayatam Shunyai Sarvam Govinda Virahena Me Asishiva Padavatam Punastamam Adarshanan Marmatam Kurotiva Yatadadama Vididati Lampato Matrananatastu Sevanapara. Victory!
Which cleanses the heart of all that thou accumulated for years, and extinguishes the fire of tradition by repeated perfect. Jesus and Kirtan move on the fire of benediction for humanity at large, because his presence illuminates the benediction to be the light of all